Good day everyone. This video is about a fairly common problem on a Porsche code P1538. The symptom is the oil pressure gauge will drop to 0 suddenly and then goes back up. It will trigger a check engine light as well. The culprit is the oil solenoid, pressure solenoid that's located inside the oil pump right there. That's the connector to it. So what I'm going to do, I am going to remove it and replace it with a new Porsche part. The first thing would be to remove the 13mm screws and remove the aluminum brace for the ease of access to the whole thing. It is really a quick thing to do and will give you a lot more room to work there. I already removed the big underlayment piece that is now sitting on the side. We have to drain the oil, that's an hex 8. So that's the next thing. You cannot remove obviously that oil solenoid with the oil pan full of oil. And don't forget to change the oil crush washer. And then it's time to take the actual solenoid out. These are two E10s, one on each side. So we will take them out, and that will we also have to remove the actual sensor, obviously the electrical sensor. So that one is just a squeeze and it will pull out. That's the connector, and I will show you how it works when you're squeezing it. It's really just a simple squeeze operation. You pull it out with your pliers and tuck it away. Now we can actually go back and remove those two E10 screws that hold the outer flange. Now they are out, and this is the flange that we are going to take out. I'm trying to do it, the oil is draining by the way still. I'm trying to do it with my hand here, but it's a fairly tight fit. It does move, but I had to get a plastic wedge and wedge it out. Now I'm holding the phone in my left hand, so sorry for this. It will go back up in just a sec to show you how it's coming out. There it is, and you just push it out and it just pops out just like that. Now you will see the gasket, the black gasket around it we will replace later. And this is the actual solenoid that we are going to replace. If you look inside, you see that there is an additional 32mm flange that holds the actual solenoid in. For this, we have to use a special Porsche tool that I will show you just a few minutes later. But in this part of video, I'm just changing the oil filter. We are doing an oil change. So obviously we have to change the oil filter while doing it. And that's a fairly simple thing. It's 25 Newton meters. It is stamped right on the oil filter housing cap. So put the new filter back on and torque it to 25 Newton meters. Yep, it is going in. Now this is the part slip from the Porsche dealer. This is the flange gasket I mentioned, and this is the actual oil solenoid that we will put back in. So now I will replace the gasket on the flange for the new one. It's cheap, you know, it may leak the oil. If you don't do it, definitely do it. This is the special Porsche tool, which is pretty much a special 32mm deep socket that you will stick in on top of the actual solenoid, the old one that's still inside, and loosen it. It will not come out by itself, so you just pretty much make it very loose, and then you take needle nose pliers and grab that solenoid, the old one, and pull it out from the oil pan. If you don't want to buy that special tool, you can alternatively remove the bottom of the oil pan and loosen that flange from the inside, but then you have to reseal the oil pan. So I think the Porsche tool works great, and it's probably worth buying if you're doing this. This is the new solenoid. That 32mm flange is already on it. So you insert it in and push it in just like that. And then you take the Porsche special socket and you torque it back to 40 Newton meters. I do it gently by hand first, and then I take the torque wrench and torque it to the spec. So here is the torque. And here is the outer flange with the new gasket. That one you just again push in with your hand as far as you can, and then insert the two E10 screws, or bolts to be exact. There they are. And the torque on those is very low. It's actually only 4 Newton meters, which is very, very low. So again, I do it by hand because it is just so low. And then I will use again by hand as far as it goes without doing anything crazy. And then I use a torque to torque it to spec again. So there it is. And one more time, because the first time it was too loose. As I said, you have to push that flange in. So I was rather being slow than do anything fast and mess it up. So now it's done. Then connect the electrical connector back to the new solenoid. And it just literally snaps in, so not a big deal. And then the aluminum brace will go back on. So everything goes back up. And then the last thing would be to install the big felt material shield that I didn't show you in the beginning. And there it is. That's the black felt piece. And it's held by these screws, quite a few of them, but again, very easy to do. Then the car goes down, and it's time to fill it up with oil to finish the oil change. Once that is done, then take a scanner, and you will have to delete the P codes mostly. There are a few more than the original one, but the car is here for that oil issue, oil pressure issue. So it gets all deleted. There is one remaining code on that scanner that's not related to our problem. So I'm not going to worry about it now. And now it's all deleted, and it's time for a test drive. Test drove the car, no check engine light on, everything seems to be working fine. So I would declare this as a successful repair. Thank you.